the Lion of Zion continued to stalk. It wasn't long before he caught national attention and the interest of corporate America. In 1971, he made history when Leon Sullivan, who, as a child, had walked on the colored side of the street, walked into the New York headquarters of perhaps the largest corporation in the world and took his place at the table as a director of General Motors. In 1975, he made his first trip to South Africa to inspect GM's operations there and see apartheid for himself. What he witnessed was to haunt him.
One night, after I was on the board of General Motors, I was thinking about South Africa. And I was saying, what can be done about it? Something can be done. And again, that voice said, Leon, you're on the board now. You do something about it. You do something about it. So I went back and decided to do something about it.
With perseverance and faith, Sullivan convinced the board of GM to pen a code of conduct for American businesses operating in South Africa. These were no mere platitudes. The Sullivan Principles drew headlines around the world, and a great deal of hostility as well. What business did he have, the black Baptist preacher from the hills of West Virginia, telling the corporate world how to operate? Sullivan was relentless. Apartheid would end, and Nelson Mandela would be freed. But once again, he would strike at the bottom line. In 1987, he called for a complete withdrawal of all U.S. companies and an immediate embargo against countries dealing in those practices. Within 6 months, more than 40 companies announced their departure. 4 months later, 30 more joined the ranks. Billions of dollars left those that participated in those unfair practices.
At the very top of my list was education. And school. For children like you.
Sullivan's interest in Africa would continue to grow. In 1983, he created the International Foundation for Education and Self-Help, otherwise known as IFESH. IFESH tackled an array of challenges: education, economic development, debt relief, and more.
For those in need.
Its mission was the central tenet of Sullivan's philosophy: to provide a hand up and not a handout. As he had done in Philadelphia and South Africa, Sullivan shepherded individuals, corporations, government agencies, NGOs, and herded them toward the need, the cause, the vision of a new Africa. The first assembly took place in 1991 under the banner of the African-American Summit, each of the 5 previous summits building on the others and building a bridge between the continents. Always quick to credit God first and then his wife Grace, Sullivan was humble about his accomplishments. Any one of them would have been remarkable in and of itself. The growth of Zion Baptist and his work in the American Civil Rights Movement, OIC, IFESH, the Sullivan Principles, and the summits, viewed collectively, they become almost staggering in impact. In 1992, he was awarded America's highest civilian award, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It was given to him by the first President, George Bush. Sullivan never forgot his roots and was fond of referring to himself as little more than a black Baptist minister from the hills of West Virginia. He carried his message of hope across the globe and back home to the children of his old neighborhood.
Believe in yourself. Believe you can do anything anyone else can do, but you must believe it. You're like a balloon. It's not your color that makes you rise, but what you have inside of you. So learn, work, and believe that you can do anything anyone else can do.
As a boy, Leon walked to school on the colored side of the street. Many decades later, he would return to see his hometown name its central artery Leon Sullivan Way, exit 100, at the convergence of Interstates 64, 77, and 79. Asked by the mayor if he would like it to read Boulevard, Street, or Highway, the poetic Sullivan chose simply Way.
This is a moment in my greatest imagination I thought could never happen. And I hope walking the Leon Sullivan Way will help every child, especially those considered the least, to know that with determination and love and faith in God, impossible things can happen.
I looked over Jordan, and what did I see?
Coming for to carry me home.
It was a band of angels coming after me.
Coming for to carry me home.
A child somewhere can be helped somehow by any one of you. So help the children, and by doing in the future, we will move mountains.